Okay, so today we are starting to design alternative story forms. Hopefully you have a better idea of what those are today, but we're going to look at how to actually design them. I just wanted to give you a quick couple of things that will help when you're actually trying to lay out your pages. So you should see hopefully the completed version of what I'm looking at right now. I wanted to walk you through a couple of quick steps. So one of the things that's really helpful for designers is being able to lock something on your spread. So for example, this design rules for today is on top of my little colored bars here. And so that means I can't click on them. Like I can't click on those color bars if I wanted to. So what you can do is go up to Object and you can lock that object into place. And so now what happens is I can't move it, I can't touch it, but I can touch stuff on top or behind it a lot easier. So if I wanted to copy this color bar, now I can click on it, Command C, Command V, and I have it again to work with, which is really helpful. If you decide that, oh no, I do want to move that, it's really simple. Go up to Object, unlock all in spread, and you can move it again. So that's just a helpful tip. Some other things I wanted to point out to you would be obviously using your copy and paste, but color selection. So we've used the eyedropper tool before. So if I wanted photo pool to be that purple, like we know how to select photo pool, grab our eyedropper, and then pull the purple, right? Like we've been through that. It gets a little more complicated if, let's say, you draw a box and you want this box to be that same purple, and maybe that purple is only available in text color. That doesn't work as well. So what you want to do, and this is really helpful for designing in general, is save swatches as you make them because you want to keep your colors consistent throughout your design. So if you click on your box, you'll notice it pops up here. That's telling you the color of the box. If you scroll here, you should have a little button that says New Swatch. So now you've just created a swatch in that color, which is really helpful because now you can just come over to a box that you want colored. Scroll down. And there is your swatch color. So that's really helpful. If you're using two colors on your design today, I would say make both of them swatches. So now you have them to work with. You see you can change them just by clicking. So that's really simple and helpful. Another thing you'll need to do for your mods today, we call them mods. Hopefully I explained this earlier, but mods are just like different like pieces of telling the story. So different smaller stories. So let's say I have like my overall story is about how Pluto lost its status as a planet. Maybe I have a fast facts box on that. Maybe I do a photo poll and maybe a timeline. So on my fast facts box, which is actually right here, this is just a label so you know what it is. It has nothing to do with the actual design. My headline, I have putting Pluto in its place. And so now I'm going to have some fast facts on how Pluto lost its planetary status. Like, how did that happen? So you have to have a subhead, that's what this is called, to explain what your headline means. Sometimes our headlines, especially for alternative story forms, are kind of vague or like gimmicky because we want to grab people's attention. So we need a subhead in there that explains it more clearly. Something to keep in mind that I told you up here. So your headlines are in Baskerville. Oh, I have this. Yeah. Your headlines are in Century Gothic, and then your body copy is in Baskerville. That means your subheadline needs to be in one of those two fonts. I'm going to go ahead and put it in Baskerville, and I'm going to make it italic so it stands out a little bit more. You can see it's kind of small. We want our subheadlines to reach all the way across our headlines. So I'm going to do some text manipulation here. Ooh, perfect. So that worked out really well. They're the same size, and so now I can start putting in some facts. So here's where I might have my first fact. I'm keeping that design consistent with the bar just a little bit off of my number. I would put in a fact here, and I want it to end at the same place. We're keeping everything in that nice square shape. So fact here, and then we need to keep those in our fonts. So Baskerville. And we would have a fact, right? Cool. Ideally, you have at least at least 3 facts. 2 is like a little sad. So have at least 3 facts in your fast box. Once you have them all, and this is a really easy way to get them all organized to lay out the same, just copy and paste them. Once you have them all in the same area, and if you look, oh my gosh, I hope you guys see those little green arrows? Those are showing me that I'm the same distance apart from each one. So if I move until I see those green arrows, then I know that everything's spaced evenly. That one's a little off. There we go. Okay. Lastly, you need a source for your information. You always have to give a source. Where did you get it? So if it's like from a website, let's say planets.com, and you don't have to say source, you could just say information from, or facts, maybe that'll fit a little better, facts from. And we want this small, like size 6. It needs to be tiny because we don't want it taking up any more room than it has to be, but we still want it there. And we want it in our fonts. So I'm going to put that in Century Gothic. And I'm going to move it to the bottom so it's there if anybody wants to check where I got my information from. So yeah, that's how you design a mod. If you're doing a photo poll, you have a couple options. You could do it vertically. So you could have photo, quote, or you could do it horizontally. We see them both ways all the time. Just make sure that the photos are all the same size. So let's say we have our photo here. I press Command D to place an image. Oh, here's a yearbook kid we were using. So I'll throw him in there. Okay, I pasted it, but I don't see him. That means the picture's too big. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to click on it. You see that brown box? It's massive. So it's really, really big. Make sure you're holding Command and Shift when you shrink it. I'm going to keep shrinking until he fits the size of my box. And he's a cutout, which is why he has a white background. You guys will probably not be dealing with cutouts today, but that's fine. All right, so here's my photo of my person. I'm going to have my quote over here. Quote, 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 quote. Right, and then we want that in our fonts. So I'm going to throw it in Baskerville. And then don't forget the kid's name. So this is a little big to fit a name, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. And then I have whatever, Andy Adams. And we'll say he is a senior. No idea. And I spelled Andy wrong. That's fine. Okay, great. So here's like just a really basic design of what it would look like. Copy and pasting is always your friend to get everything sized correctly. I'm not doing it now, but you'll want these to be a pica apart. Anyways, that's how you make your photo poll. Don't forget to put your question. So you'll need your headline, your subheadline, your question, what you're actually asking. Your subheadline should be your actual question, and then your headline should be like something to pull them in. So maybe like out of this world opinions or something. And then we have students give their opinions on the loss of Pluto as a planet or whatever. So that could be my setup here. If you want to make this look fancier, feel free. Like, you are not limited. You can, something I like to do when I'm doing photo polls is I'll make the quote marks like special. So maybe I make my quote marks Century Gothic, bold, and like super big. Let's just type in 30. Okay. And then I can even, because I've made swatches, make that one of my colors, and I can use it over here. And I can make it even bigger. You'll see this a lot with photo polls, is like the quotes are massive and then they send them to the back, so the quote kind of goes on top of it. It's a really cool look. And then you can even change his name to match that quote. So that's simple, and your quote looks way cooler. If you do like a big quotation mark like this, you probably don't need an end quote. You do need punctuation. So that's an option. Play around with that however you want that to look. And then the last one I was going to show you how I would do would be a timeline. So again, I'm going to have headline, subheadline, always important, need them. And you would have that over here too. But it would be smaller. I'm holding Command and Shift and shrinking all of this at the same time. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to hold Command and Shift and make all of this bigger until I get. Notice I'm designing within columns, so you want to do that too. So this one takes up 2 columns, this one's taking up 3. So for a timeline, it's pretty simple. It could be more complex, but we're going to stick with simple. Let me just tell you what I'm working with. So this is a line drawer tool. You can click and hold Shift, and it'll make a straight line for you. Once you have your straight line, you can come up here and choose the color. I'm going to go with black. And then you can also choose the width. So how thick you want it to be. And then basically